Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Too long living on the inside. Too mostly.
All right. That song, okay. No, before we get into it, sorry. Go to YouTube. Go to Spotify. Go to Apple Music. Go to iHeart Music or whatever. I don't use that one.
iHeartRadio, I think, yeah.
iHeartRadio. I don't use that one. Sorry if I said it wrong. Go to any of those.
Anywhere.
Those great podcast websites where you find all your stuff, and then search. Just go ahead and type in They Mostly Come Out at Night if you like this stuff.
And please
give us a follow.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
Like, whatever you want to do.
We appreciate it.
We really appreciate it. Helps grow the community. Helps us make better episodes. So if you can do your part, we will definitely keep doing our part.
We will continue.
So I appreciate you. Thank you. Spiel over. Holy Lord, this movie did not have to go this hard with the soundtrack.
The song in particular that we're referring to is by somebody named Ramona Gibbons, and it's called Living on the Inside.
This song is going to live rent-free in my brain, not even all week, probably for quite a while.
Yeah, because there's just something about, these, catchy, 80s kind of poppy songs that have, guitars and guitar solos in them that just lives in my brain. And what do you know, our fucking movie today decided to just end credits, fucking blast our brains with it.
Now, that being said, the movie is the trashiest kind of entertainment.
This is so stupid, and I love it.
I'm fucking here for it. But seriously, it made it it's like the cherry on top, just a baller fucking theme song at the end.
Totally unnecessary, and I love it.
Yeah, completely out of left field too. I mean, the whole soundtrack, honestly, is one of my highest points of this movie. It is so good. The soundtrack did not need to go this hard, and they did.
And then they have an actual song at the end with lyrics.
Yes. Anyway, the movie that we're talking about tonight is Killpoint.
Killpoint, one word.
And it's a ride. It's a very unique movie.
If you watch Red Media, you've already seen them talking about this movie. If you haven't, you're in for some absolute nonsense, and I love it.
It's not one of those movies that you have to watch beforehand. It's a very basic story, although it is hilarious to watch all the scenes.
I kept saying during this movie that this felt like it felt like a video game, or it felt like video game cutscenes.
It really does. It really does, because it's kind of like no scene is really connected to each other except for the end.
Yeah.
But it's just things happen, and then it all leads to the end.
Yeah, things happen, usually consisting of people getting killed. Or
it's hilarious because it's the same thing will happen, because it's basically, in a nutshell, the whole movie is about these people selling. This guy finds this stockade of guns.
Beginning of the movie,
and he starts selling a bunch of guns, and then every time he gives them to the criminals will just go and randomly just shoot people.
They commit crime
just for no reason.
Yes.
Will just shoot up an entire liquor store, or an entire restaurant, or an entire grocery store.
Yep.
For literally no reason. Because
they're criminals. That's all you need.
Okay, they try and justify it. I love how they justify it in the movie, because they try and do at least there's no witness, there's no witnesses, so no one can testify.
Well, that's what he tells them when he sells them the guns.
Right.
Don't fuck up. Don't leave witnesses, because if it comes back to us, I'll kill you, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother.
The death count in this movie is staggeringly high.
It's sky high, because everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
Every bad guy gets it, and it's even all the scenes of them shooting up restaurants and grocery stores. All the innocent people get it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Now,
it's what you want.
Like I said, this movie does start with our dude, Nighthawk.
Yes.
Played by the...
What's his name, Will? What's his name?
I can't. You gotta do it.
Stack Pierce.
Stack Pierce?
What a name.
Oh, Stack Pierce. Okay.
So yes, his name is Nighthawk.
Yes.
That's it. That's his name.
Yeah.
I don't even know
he
if
kills like his commanding officer.
Well, I don't even.
I don't really understand.
This doesn't matter.
They don't ever explain this
because
like,
they don't need to.
They don't ever like explain what the fuck is going on.
Because the first scene is just like, it's like we see him like, we just see like shots of like his like army boots walking, and then eventually it pans up and he walks into like this room, shoots this like army commander, and then cuts like the phone lines or something, takes his keys, opens a door, and it's just this stockade full of like assault rifles and RPGs and everything. He just smiles. And the next scene is he gives a gun to his like boss. And it's this guy who always wears sunglasses and an ascot.
His name is Joe Marks.
Joe Marks. And he gives him a gun.
Oh, my
and our man,
Lord.
Joe Marks, peeks down the sights. And we just see some Goomba holding a fucking, like, bottle. And he shoots the bottle. And then it flashes the title of the movie.
Let me just say, Joe Marks is one of the biggest pieces of shit you'll see, like...
I love Joe Marks.
In a lot. I mean, I know
because it's so
goofy.
For
some reason, in the '80s, they loved doing just the sleaziest fucking douchebag villains.
Because it's like they embrace the fact that like your villain is supposed to be a fucking.
Well, it's not like the modern villains where they like have a backstory and there's a reason they're so evil
and they've been wronged.
It's like he's just fucking.
He's just evil.
He's a dirtbag.
He's evil. Yeah,
he's just evil to be evil.
He's evil and does evil things, and that's all you need. And he has quirks. Like, he has a little fucking poodle that he has for half the movie, and then it just disappears. And
for reasons we'll get into, which makes him even bigger of a douchebag.
It's hilarious. He, there's a whole scene with, like, a waitress and a baby that is, like, so out of, like, nowhere, and it's wonderful. Like, it's great. But, yeah, like, they steal the guns, then they sell them to, like, this first... Oh, no, first thing that happens is there's a fucking... They get their own business over with, so...
Right.
They're like, we gotta kill Leo DiGiulio.
Yeah.
Remember?
Leo DiGiulio, which sounds like the most made-up name on the planet.
It's a name,
Leo DiGiulio. They're like, okay, what rhymes with Leo? What rhymes with Leo? What sounds Italian and rhymes with Leo? DiGiulio.
Yeah, so our Italian man is eating at a Chinese restaurant, and they just...
For no reason.
These guys pull up. They put, earplugs in their ears, which is, like...
It's funny, because, like, Nighthawk doesn't even really get out of the car. This is, like, one of the most jarring, like shootout scenes we see, because... It's these 5 dudes, they walk into the restaurant, they shoot up everyone, and then literally, out of fucking nowhere, it just jump cuts to Nighthawk standing behind them saying, with love.
No, he shoots...
Oh yeah, he shoots DiGiulio.
We're assuming it's Mr. DiGiulio.
I guess.
And he shoots him and he just says, with love, and walks away.
Just out of nowhere, because he was in the car for like the whole shootout. You didn't even see him.
He just had to do that final blow, Will.
With love.
And then they leave, and that's like that. And then there's like a scene where, you know, they sell guns to these Goombas in the desert.
Well, so the first one is they sell it to the 3 guys, don't they? First?
Yeah, it's like these 3 hoodlums. And that's where he tells them, like, whatever you do, leave no witnesses or I'll kill you.
He's like, I'll kill you,
your daddy, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, like everybody. And then literally next scene, they pull up to a fucking grocery store, and it's just like these like...
And they just kill...
It's these very like... almost like guerrilla shots of like...
Like establishing shots of just people working at a grocery store.
Of just fucking uncles and aunts in a grocery store.
I will also admit, literally... almost like I would say like 98% of this entire cast is above the age of 40.
There's a lot of uncles and aunts.
There is so much like old like actors going on here.
Yeah.
That sentence didn't make any sense. sorry, there's a lot of like older actors, which I'm all for inclusivity. Okay.
Hey, we got. I'm
all for it.
Listen, we got older people of all races here. Okay.
But you know what that means, Alex? We can finally bring it back. It's been a while.
Oh God.
It's still summer, so you know what we got, and I hope it continues. Action Uncle Summer.
I'm not gonna promise that it'll continue because
I hope it does.
The uncle factor in this was like slightly off the charts. Because my God, like,
it's had enough uncles for all of it. Okay.
Listen, once we get to our hero,
I know it's almost the end of summer. August is upon us, but it's still Action Uncle Summer. We still have a chance.
This fit in. But yeah, they sell like these guys. After we get these established shots of these aunts and uncles in this grocery store, these fucking hoodlums just walk in there and blast
like everybody. They just kill every single
uncles
person.
Flying over eggshelves and like just chaos. And like one of them like chases this woman down like the aisles and shit, kills her, and they leave. And then it's like we get introduced to our fucking hero, which is
Detective
another uncle.
Long.
So first of all, we have the introduction to this is like insanity because it's two fucking uncles on a phone.
Yeah.
Uncle number one is reading a script that's above his head.
Every
scene. There's two guys in the movie.
These are my two favorite
yes
actors in the entire film because it is so cute how hard they try and make these dudes seem like super serious while they're blatantly reading a script.
Well, because in the credits, they are listed as, like, captain and special agent.
Yeah.
So it's like, they just put, like, real cops and shit in the movie, and they're not actors at all, obviously.
We should mention a big part of this movie is literally like a law enforcement, like facility. So they got an entire, like... What's it called?
They use the police department.
Like an entire department to use for their film.
To use for this nonsense.
Like, literally, they list, like, probably, like, over, like, 50 people that are all involved in law enforcement.
If you want to laugh,
insane.
If you want to have a laugh, look at the end credits of this and look at, like, the ratio of, like, cops and shit that they had to put in the credits versus actors. It's hilarious.
And they name every single one.
Every one of them's in there. Yeah. But yeah, it's like... The two guys is we have guy number one who's like the captain of the actual police department who talks to our hero, Mr. Detective Long, played by Leo Fong.
Commissioner
and then
guy.
we have like a guy who's like
he's like in some like undisclosed location.
He's in like his fucking living room. I swear because it's just
they don't ever explain who he is.
Well, because you only see him from like chest up. And it's like a brown background.
They do not explain who he is at all.
They might have explained it, but the audio is a bit spotty.
We watched it on YouTube, so I don't know if that was the quality of the video or what. But take that for what.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shout Factory has not done a 4K remaster of Killpoint yet.
I wish they would.
But yeah, it's like these two guys, and they're always reading the script when they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
They're always like you have some fucking goon who has to hold the script off camera, and they have to like scan it as they speak. But basically, it's them talking on the phone and saying like, "Okay,
I want to believe it's just giant fucking cue cards."
Well, no,
that they have to filter
in some
through.
Scenes they give them like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
and they're obviously reading off of it, and it's like supposed to be like the mission. Which is like, it kind of reminds me of the video game logic going on. But they're obviously reading the script. But yeah, they basically the whole point is that they're like, okay, we got, like, there was this robbery at the stockade, and there was a killing at this, like, restaurant, and now there's a shootout at a grocery store. We got the man.
Now, we should also mention part of this police force that's not part of the actual police force. Richard Roundtree is in this for whatever reason. Shaft himself is just in this movie.
For like 15 minutes total, and then like
he's in a couple scenes, which it was great to see him. It was weird.
And then something happens that's mildly shocking because I'm just like, oh, okay, all right then, that's a choice. But yeah, he's in this. But our main guy is Detective Long, and they partner him up with Richard Roundtree, and it's like, get down to business.
Well, so they start going like to investigate the murder scenes, and like They get a couple leads, but they don't have much yet.
Until we get a scene where it's like... So, Leo Marks, our bad mans, is watching TV, and they're going over the report of all the shootings and shit, and this woman comes in, and she's like a madam. And she brings him his dog, his poodle.
Yep.
Because she took it to get a haircut. And then he also wants a prostitute from her. So she sets that up. And in the meantime, Nighthawk is there. He's just annoyed.
Well, they kind of... Every time Nighthawk is around Leo Marks, they treat him like he's like the servant. Like Nighthawk is the servant.
Every time... I just love every time they cut to his face... He just has this expression of like pure fucking annoyance.
I love
it. It's hilarious because like
I want to think it's not intentional, which is like hilarious. Like maybe they just told him to like to just deadpan it, but like he looks so fucking annoyed.
Well, it's fitting considering what happens.
Yeah,
but it's just funny because every time anyone's having a conversation, it just cuts to him not saying anything. He just looks completely fucking done. But they're like, give me a drink. So he goes to the next room.
I love this part where
he picks up like, there's like the
ice tongs or whatever.
He picks up the ice tongs and just holds them there. Then puts them down and just
like,
grabs a fucking handful of ice.
Throws a lemon in there with his bare hand too. It's great.
So petty. And then he comes back in and is like, these this is dangerous. Like they keep talking about these crimes and they're gonna like track it to us. And then Leo Marks just takes out his gun and shoots the TV. And then that's the scene.
Yeah.
And then a prostitute comes over to him.
And he's a fucking asshole to her that makes her sing, forces her to sing. And then like she won't take off her dress, so he like slaps her and then just the scene ends there.
The scene ends and then we get a montage of like a helicopter flying around and being like, we found a body, and it's like what's going on.
Well, and they do like the autopsy and obviously it's the woman, and so like our detective wants all the information.
So he sees her body and all this stuff, and then there's a scene that goes fucking nowhere. This goes nowhere. It's just flavor. It's like spice.
Well,
it's like spice on a steak.
I guess we should also say that like Leo Marks didn't kill her. It was like some hitman guy.
Well, so the nonsense I'm talking about isn't even this.
Is it the pool scene?
No.
Where it's just a bunch of like muscular dudes and then Leo just sitting in a hot tub?
But that scene's great because he sits there with his dog. I'm talking about the fucking weird part where we get a montage of them like doing the autopsy and Detective Long walking to his locker.
Oh, yeah.
You remember this? He opens his locker and there's a picture of his wife.
I have no idea who she is because literally it's another
credits.
scene where they like fucking don't explain shit.
No. So the end credits lists woman in photograph as his wife, okay? So we get that. But we get him looking at her photograph and then we get like a scene of her like dancing.
I think they just went to like a cultural celebration.
Right.
And just filmed her doing that.
And they took a picture of her and put her in the movie.
Yeah.
I get it. No, I get that. That's fine.
That's exactly what they did.
I'm okay with that.
I mean...
Whatever nonsense you need.
I'm just making sure you're aware that they did. That's what they did.
No, that's like half the movie. Well,
yeah.
It's just things that they have.
And then they had to just ask her name so they could throw her in the credits.
Right. Well, they have to credit her. That's just... I mean, look, they're gentlemen who made this movie, okay? But...
She probably doesn't even know she's in the fucking movie.
Whatever her name is, I hope she sees this podcast, okay? But... What's funny is we just see her dancing at this like cultural event, and then there's no mention of her ever again. It's like I'm assuming through non-verbal like filmmaking that she must have died at some point because there's no reference.
Well, you see, in a normal movie, they'd probably show like a flashback or some context to why it's so important.
Like she died, and he's now tortured.
Right. There's some context of why. But
fuck that.
Fuck that.
You know why?
I can also appreciate this fucking movie because there's no exposition whatsoever.
No, I love how simple-brained it is. Like, we have our tortured, silent main cop, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta give him, like, a little sprinkle of... I told you, it's spice.
But a lot of the movies would also, like, show maybe the detective going home and, like,
Going to a grave.
Or going to a grave or something.
Yeah.
Some context. No. But no, fuck that. You get a picture.
A picture and a flashback for 5 seconds. But that's it. And like,
holy shit.
That goes on.
You know what? Because that would be too much fluff for this movie. Okay, people needs to get shot and people needs to die. Yeah. Okay.
No, so there's a scene where like, after they do that, where the Detective Long, he goes and talks to the madam.
Yes.
And shows her the picture of the woman and says that we found her body, blah, blah, blah.
And she's like all upset.
So she goes
to our fucking sleazebag guy and tries to confront him.
While he's sitting there with his dog and trying to get the dog to smoke, which I guarantee you is not scripted. None of this is scripted.
And then great. Nighthawk walks in and she takes a gun and shoots him in the side of the stomach.
She shoots him in the side of the stomach.
And then he literally shoots her in the head 5 times.
And then my favorite is how nonchalant Leo is. He's just like, come on, man, you're bleeding over the carpet.
She got blood all over the bed.
Come on, wash yourself up, man. And that's a scene. Yeah, that's a scene that happens.
That's literally a scene.
And it's great.
A lot of these scenes just play out you just let it happen.
At some point after
there's almost no context. It just happens.
It's for me. It's for my entertainment.
There's no build up or anything. They just fucking happen.
People gotta die. Okay, like our next scene.
Yeah, because next scene they sell more guns.
Well, no, I was gonna say there's a scene after this where
you're right.
He's in the hot tub with the dog.
Right.
And Nighthawk is there, and he's just getting kind of annoyed with how...
Well, the guy's just holding the dog and looking around, and there's a fucking...
There's a karate duel.
There's a karate duel. There's a guy in a Speedo just fucking... Flexing.
His muscles.
He's in a bodybuilding competition.
And then Nighthawk's just sitting there annoyed at how nonchalant Leo is about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's another scene where they...
Oh, and, this is also where you figure out that the hitman that took out the fucking... took out the girl didn't hide the body well enough, and is getting sloppy. So of course Leo's you need to take care of him, which is again leads up to it's a ridiculous scene because this literally the next scene after they're sitting in the hot tub watching a bunch of macho men do karate and shit. The next scene is this hitman comes to get his payment, right? And he walks to the hot tub for some whatever reason. He takes off his shoes.
I don't even remember what the fuck led to this. What the fuck happened before this scene?
Well, because remember they were at the hot tub and they said that he was getting sloppy, and then he's like, "Okay, well you need to take care of it." When do we?
Because somehow the fucking cops found out, right?
Yeah. When do we see him next? And
no, oh my god, no, you're forgetting the insanity. Because somehow. Oh my god! Because
from the
Detective
autopsy,
Long goes and interviews an uncle in a park.
Oh, yeah, I forgot this scene because this uncle never shows up again, and you have no idea who the fuck he is.
But it's a video game. He talks to him in a park.
He's an NPC that you never see again.
And the guy's like, "Listen, man, I want to know. I want to know if I'm protected." And Detective Long's like, "Yeah, we'll find something.
You got to meet at this place.
There's a bar. Be there. Trust me. You'll see him." You'll know. And then next scene is a bunch of uncles in a bar playing pool.
It's a pool hall.
We get a bunch of stylish, nonsensical shots of people.
Oh, that's right. He didn't kill the girl. I'm sorry. God damn, I forgot.
Yeah, no, because
he kills some fucking random dude in a fucking bathroom.
He kills the guy who Detective Long is going to talk to. So he goes. And then we see two guys, and they just talk and then they go into a bathroom, and I'm like, what's going on? Is there going to be a glory hole? No. He puts something in his mouth. That is how much
nonsense was put into my brain in this fucking movie that I literally forgot this gigantic plot point.
I love the editing, though, because they go into the bathroom, and in the meantime, it keeps cutting to these guys setting up a pool game. And he goes into the bathroom, and the guy just whips out a gun and puts it in his mouth. And as soon as he shoots, they break the pool, so it masks the gunshot.
Here's my question, Alex. How the fuck would that guy know?
How would he know what?
How would he know when the fucking pool ball was gonna hit the other balls?
Don't fucking ask, Will.
How?
Don't ask.
He's in the fucking bathroom.
Will, shut the fuck up. Stop asking questions.
How?
It's stylish.
Yeah, sure.
It looks cool.
It doesn't make sense.
What sense? We watched Killpoint. We watched a movie with a man named Nighthawk, played by Stack Pierce.
Yeah, that's why he goes to get his money, and then you get this ridiculous...
Because the cops immediately like go there, and they find the dead body, obviously, and because of this, Leo's like, he's getting sloppy.
Yeah.
And so
my bad. I apologize. That was some shitty reviewing on my end because I'm fucking brain rotting.
It's fine. Our fucking guy goes home and starts he sits next to his hot tub and starts taking his shoes off, and then Nighthawk just shows up, blasts him once, and the guy is flailing like a fucking fish in the water.
And then fucking Nighthawk just shoots him.
Unloads 10 bullets into him.
I also love the scene because it's just him floating at the bottom of this hot tub with no blood whatsoever. After Nighthawk just unloaded a fucking clip into him.
My favorite thing is in the fucking Red Letter Media Best of the Worst, where they talk about this movie, they show this exact scene, and Mike is just like, "This is the most violent movie I've ever seen."
Well, okay, my question is why the
you have a question?
Why the fuck did he take off his shoes?
Because I guarantee you he was either gonna get in the hot tub anyway. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I like my description where the actor just didn't want to ruin his shoes, so he didn't.
He was fine with all the other articles of clothing.
Yeah, but the shoes, okay?
But the Gucci shoes.
Maybe they're expensive, okay?
Yeah, listen, the Italian loafers could not get wet.
Maybe they were Italian leather, so he had to leave them outside the hot tub.
I understand.
He knew he was going to get blasted into the hot tub, so he had to take off the shoes.
He saw Nighthawk coming, he's like, oh, fuck.
He's like, yeah, great, okay. Let me hold on a second.
Not the shoes, man.
Let me take off my shoes real quick.
But yeah, he blasts them. That's a scene. And then
don't we get the next sale of the guns?
Yes, oh my fucking God. They go in the desert, and they sell guns to, these gang member types, and the fucking... There's this limo driver chauffeur who they keep showing.
Yeah.
And she's there, and the guys are like, what's she here for? And
she's actually kind of fucking, I don't know. I thought she doesn't talk, I guess.
She doesn't talk, but she's down. Because basically they're like, what's she here for? And Nighthawk's like, oh, she's my insurance policy. And I think this is fucking hilarious.
She pulls a gun.
And then the guy takes a gun and he aims it at the desert because he wants to test it out, and she just holds a pistol to his head, don't play games. And he just tests the gun out. They're fine.
He walks away.
Literally, next scene,
a fucking party.
There's a party,
and these dudes that just bought the guns go in and fucking blast everyone.
They blast everybody, and then they pick up a rock and break a car
for no reason. I guess to add insult to injury, but.
And then again, it's they're cops show up. They're it's connected. Our guy's driving around and goes to a fucking... Okay, it's a convention center. And again, they happen to have, at the time they were filming this movie, there was a
martial arts
there was a martial arts exposition going on. So we get lots of guerrilla style filmmaking of this martial arts exposition, right?
This scene pretty much leads to nowhere, though.
No, because he talks to a guy who gives him info about things, and then this is where it gets very I don't even know what the fuck happens, because the next shot after this guy gives him info is our 4 Goombas who just bought the guns are sitting on Detective Long's car. They're just sitting on it.
For literally no reason. I'm not even explaining the reasoning behind this, because it happens. Everything in this movie is so fucking convenient.
Their car, the Goomba car, is also parked right next to it with the guns. They're just sitting there. He walks up to his car. He's like, get off my car. And they basically just tell him, go fuck yourself.
And then they try and kill him.
And then he fights them. He beats up these dudes. One of them pulls out the gun that he bought. He shoots him, takes his gun, tosses it to fucking Richard Roundtree, and is like, I got it. And he reads off the serial number, and he's like, yep, that's the gun.
He's like, yep, that's the military gun.
And in the meantime, the other fucking the other criminals are. We get a montage of them like robbing liquor stores and shit and shooting innocent civilians.
Random people. We also get this random scene where some fucking country yokel pulls up to a gas station.
Oh yeah,
and like
he wants gas.
He tells like, who is this?
No, I get it now. I didn't get it at first. At first I was like, why the fuck is he yelling at him?
I mean, I get why he was yelling at him, but who is the guy? The other guy, is it Nighthawk or is it?
No, it's one of the criminals.
Okay, yeah.
He assumes because racism will
that the guy's working the
he's a servant.
Yeah,
that he's working at the gas station. He's filling up.
But he says like fill it up, but like see what I don't get. This is one of the criminals. He pulls a gun on the guy. He's like he robs him. He's like fill this up. Why didn't he just kill him? They're killing literally everyone else.
I have no idea why he didn't kill him.
He fucking tells them to like
his homeboys are in the gas station robbing it at that moment while he's filling up gas, and of course he has to rob the fucking guy, and he takes his glasses too. And then they go and immediately...
But that guy is scot-free?
Yes.
Like, that guy just is like, okay, we're not going to kill you today.
I guess.
We're going to kill literally everyone else in these liquor stores and the convenience stores. But the fucking yokel, the fucking, like...
I'm assuming...
the racist yokel is fine.
I'm assuming this guy is the one who ends up calling the cops. Because they literally go to another fucking convenience store to rob it at this point. And then the cops all show up. We get a shootout. One of them dies... the other one, he's about to be arrested by our guy, and then he like starts taking his clothes off, and of course our detective also takes his clothes off.
And I was like, okay, why don't more detective shows?
You're like, why didn't I see this on Cops?
Yeah, seriously, just take it.
Because he's just like, I'm not going down.
They both like square up.
Yeah, they literally like very gentleman like square up. They're like, he's like, I'm not going down without a fight. And he's like. And the guy literally is like, I'm going to read you your rights. As he, like, pulls his fists up.
Good.
And they fucking fight, beats his ass, and then they take him to jail, and they, of course, like...
Well, and this is where he's like, well, there was no witnesses, you can't prove anything.
You can't prove anything. And they're like, okay. Like, so they stick him in a fucking, like...
A cell with the other guy that they just arrested. And they have a fight, obviously, because they both think they're the fucking rats. And
they both think they're rats, so they fight.
But I love how they just, like, they don't think that these two are going to fight, even though they both pitted them against each other. And they literally stuck them in the same fucking cell.
You assume, Will, that they think they won't fight. I don't know about that.
Maybe they wanted them to?
I think they might have wanted them to, because it was extremely convenient. But yeah, they fight. And then immediately they pull the other guy into the fucking interrogation room, and he's like,
he sings like a fucking canary.
He's like, I'm gonna talk, and I want you to blame it on the fucking guy who beat me up. It's so fucking stupid.
Like, blame it on this guy because I don't want to be a rat.
It's so fucking stupid. I love it.
So dumb.
But yeah, he spills the beans.
So then now Detective Long goes undercover. So he goes to the pawn shop where they initiate the deals.
Yeah, some guy, he tells him, like, I'm from San Diego, and I know Leo Marks, I want the shit.
So the guy, like, is like, okay, meet me at this bar, like...
In half an hour.
In half an hour.
And he makes a phone call to some guy at a bar.
And the guy answers and is like, yeah, I know that guy, like, blah, blah, blah.
And then he's like, okay. He hangs up, and the guy calls the cops, and he's like, listen, man.
Roundtree and was like, hey.
Listen, man. Are you gonna like protect me? Because like this is serious.
And Richard Roundtree is like, yeah, and just fucking hangs up on the guy.
Phone. Like... And so our guy is like setting up the deal.
Oh my god.
Or whatever.
Dude, the fucking meetup between the fucking pawn shop guy and Detective Long in the strip club is
special.
I don't
They go to the strip club where there's like a grand total of 3 people watching.
Yeah, it's very empty, which is hilarious.
I swear to God. Notice, Will, I have a theory.
Okay, what's your theory?
There were no poles in that strip club, Will.
I don't think it was a strip club.
I think it was a bar.
I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they used the same bar for like pretty much all 3 like bar scenes.
No, the other ones definitely look different. The other ones were darker. That's another one.
Oh god, yeah, they're like pitch black.
The other ones were like fucking pitch black. Here's the thing, Will.
But
they had a bar.
It's like four women like awkwardly gyrating
on like the bar tables.
On bar tables, yeah.
Because it's not a strip club; it's just a bar. But they wanted it to be a strip club for movie. I know why, for titties, I guess. But they just awkwardly gyrate while four bubbas fucking just blank faces watch.
And then Detective Long talks to the guy, and you can't hear anything he's saying because they're using one mic, and it's away from his fucking face.
And he's just like, listen, don't bullshit me. He's like, I'll set it up.
But he's talking about it like a setup. He's like, he's going to get it together. He just has to go talk to them and then find a meeting point.
In the meantime, we get a thing where somehow, some way, I don't even fucking know, because I swear to God, the movie flies by like faster than the fucking Flash.
I mean, it is only an hour and 25 minutes. They don't waste any of your goddamn time.
Because basically what happens is we get a scene where Richard Roundtree finds out the bar that Nighthawk hangs out at. And in true fucking accelerated lizard brain fashion, he goes to this bar. Nighthawk is there with two women, and he still looks annoyed. Richard Roundtree sits at a table, and Nighthawk's fucking bacon meter goes off. Because I'm not joking.
Yeah, he's like, go check that guy out.
He just looks at him like annoyed.
I don't even know like how she finds out he's like a cop.
She starts like she's like grabbing at him, and I swear she must have like touched a gun or something.
Oh shit, it's a cop.
Like, yeah, no, she like goes up to him and just starts like getting all handsy, and he's like, "Oh shit, Nighthawk is a cop." And then
they start shooting at each other in like a crowded bar.
They run outside,
and then Richard Roundtree just dies.
He just dies, and I'm not joking. He
just gets shot right as he's exiting the bar.
There is no mention of this character again.
No, there's no like scene where like Detective Long is like, "Oh, you killed my partner. I'm gonna get you." Nothing. They don't fucking no justice for this fucking fallen detective whatsoever. They don't fucking care. Okay, he was in a grand total, like you said, like 12 minutes of the movie. So who fucking gives a shit? Most of the time, he's just sitting at a desk and makes some witty remarks about the gun.
Oh my God. It's insane. But then, yeah, they have this meeting at this bar where it's another bar, and that's like the darkest bar in the movie, where we just get like, I swear to God,
it's a bunch of people dancing.
We get a fucking like Stanley Kubrick fucking tracking shot of Detective Long walking through like a fucking apartment pool, and it's just tracking shot of him walking, and he walks through a door, and now he's in this bar. They sit down. It's like the pawn shop guy, it's Leo, and it's Nighthawk, and they're all there like setting up this thing, and they're like, I don't know, we don't know if we can trust you. And then he leaves, and then fucking Leo's like, get so-and-so, there's gonna be trouble. And then we get a shot of Detective Long walking out the door. I would just hear like him yelling,
"Hey, you want tacos?
You want tacos?" I'm like, okay.
I think that's what they said.
Yes.
It could be wrong.
I heard the word tacos.
Yeah, I heard tacos.
He walks outside. He gets ambushed and beat up, and then he's like in his room, all annoyed. And fucking Leo and Nighthawk show up, and they're like, "Hey, man, open the door. Come on, let's make a deal." He opens the door, and they're like, "Listen, we had to check you out, because if you were a real cop, you would have had like backup.
And we know you're not a real cop now, because like we just had to test you and you passed.
We'll do it. Like, make sure you get the money." And then they leave, and then we get an absolute bit of fucking cinematic insanity where they're at a fucking diner, and Leo's drinking coffee, and
oh yeah, and then
oh my God,
there's a baby crying. Like,
there's
so
a
Nighthawk
waitress
exits. He's like, "Get the car," and like he asks for an extra cup of coffee, and the waitress gets the coffee, and then starts just small talking him,
just babbling about like
nothing,
the news and all, and
how
rent.
She wants to move away, but she can't because she can't afford it,
and all this stuff. And in the meantime, there's a baby crying, and Leo's just like, "Shut that baby up! Shut up that baby!"
And then he's like, pulls her close. He's like, "I asked for the bill."
Okay, but that's like 2 minutes of like I swear to God, it's like someone like turning up the volume dial.
Yeah, on the baby.
And my favorite thing is like the whole time,
it like almost busts the microphone. It's so loud.
It's so loud with her talking and like the baby crying. But the funny thing is the whole time it's just like him like rubbing his head, being like, "Shut up, shut up, shut that baby up." Okay. And then he grabs her. He's like, "I want the bill." And then she like opens the cash register.
And he like slams her fingers in it.
And then
like,
chokes her to death.
Awkwardly chokes her to death.
And then Nighthawk walks in and just is like,
We did forget to mention, it's way back. I'm sorry, we forgot to mention one of the craziest fucking Detective Long scenes, the fucking like training montage. Where he's just staring blindly.
He's staring into your soul.
He's staring into your soul while training. I just wanted to mention that because it's hilarious.
Yes, it's like a 3-minute training montage of him staring into your soul. And then my favorite is at the very end of the montage, he finally closes his eyes. Like, I dropped that log. I came.
Relief. Being constipated for so long.
But yeah, that happens. Yeah. And then, Leo chokes out a waitress. Nighthawk shows up and is just like annoyed, and then we get absolute fucking okay. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Are you talking about like the setup for like the last scene?
I'm talking about. I guess it is because I'm talking about the scene where they're walking around, where Leo's walking around an abandoned factory, with monologuing
with a voice
about his dog,
about how. He had to kill his dog. Well, it's implied that he killed his dog because it was barking too much and shat all over his carpet.
But that deep down, his dog was his only friend.
It was easy to kill everyone else, but not the dog.
I miss that dog.
I miss that dog.
It's just me now.
One that he's like,
I don't whole friggin' world.
I don't trust Nighthawk. I gotta kill that
I gotta kill that bastard.
I gotta kill that bastard. It's just a long fucking like droning monologue by like
for no reason.
As we get shots of like Nighthawk driving to like meet him
with his like chauffeur as they're driving somewhere.
Well, and they pick up Detective Long. Remember, from somewhere.
Well, no. So, oh my god, no, because the first thing happens is.
No, you're right. Yeah,
he goes to the
factory, and then like
meets Leo.
Leo like is like talking to him through the window.
He's in the limo, and he like rolls down the window. And Leo's just like, "Hey, I missed that dog, so I want you to get like
give me a gravestone and like."
And he just keeps
give
talking.
me a new dog and some dog food and all this shit.
And he just keeps talking, and Nighthawk just gets more and more annoyed. And then eventually
he like nods to his like the fucking like driver,
and she rolls up the window and
pinches his like fingies in the fucking window. And then Nighthawk opens the door with fucking like Leo hanging on by his fingies, and like flashes a knife and like slits Leo's throat.
And that's it. And that's it for that. And then after this, again, there's no like, it just happens. The scene just happens, and then the movie continues like nothing.
Detective
happened.
Long just like slits his throat, and then like for some reason Detective Long is like getting in the car now
because now they're doing the deal, and then Detective Long asks him like, "Where's your like boss?" And he's like, "Oh, he's like incapacitated or whatever."
Well, and then like two guys like sitting like across from them
holding guns,
holding a like shotguns. He's like, "This is my insurance policy," and then like fucking Detective Long takes out a fucking grenade and pulls the pin, and it's just like, "This is my insurance policy."
And then we get like, I swear, they go to this factory and then they walk to make the deal, and the whole time it's just Detective Long.
It's just awkwardly like full armed, just like fucking
with this grenade in his hand, with this fucking shit-eating grin on his face.
He's just holding it while they're going away, and then like they show him the guns, and then he's like, "So everything looked good?" And then for no reason, I guess they're making the drop now because you see all those like cops getting ready.
They're getting ready, yeah.
Like for this like big siege on the fucking people. And it's funny because like they only show Nighthawk and the two other dudes, right? Mm-hmm. That's all they show because they go into the compound and everything, and there's like literally no one else
until
the shootout happens, and then everyone and their fucking dog is
all
there.
The baddies are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
because
we had
Madman fucking Detective Long is like, yeah, everything looks good. And the guy's like, what are you doing? And he like flicks the pin away and throws the grenade. And 2 just random goons that get blasted into oblivion.
And then, like, everyone's shooting at each other. We get, like, shots of, like, cops doing, like, a fucking training exercise. Shooting at, like, Goombas.
I was gonna say, like, there's the running theory because every shot is so disjointed. They tried, but it's like they've shot, like, training footage of these cops, and then they shot, like, just random goons firing guns quote unquote at them,
and then getting shot by the cops.
But they're never in the same scene together.
No, they're never in the same shot
ever.
Yeah, and then they just shoot, and then we see like the goons.
Oh, and none of the cops die in the scene.
None of the cops die. No.
None of them die.
All the goons die. In the meantime, we get like Detective Long. We get a long fight scene with one guy. He beats him up, arrests him.
Well, it's all the guys that beat him up.
Yeah. Then he beats up the other guy, arrests him, and then finally, after all this, he is in a shootout with Nighthawk, and then Nighthawk just gets shot, and we get like these fucking millisecond long shots of like a bloody hand with like a fucking machine gun, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's symbolic because it's like the beginning of the movie, Alex. Remember, because the silencer.
I have nothing to say to you as far as that goes. I have
because they make the silencer noise.
Well, it's like poetry. It rhymes. Yeah.
Symbolism.
Oh. Okay.
Well, so
okay.
So
Well,
Detective Long thinks he's shooting the guy, so he goes and inspects. He makes sure Nighthawk's dead, and then fucking Leo is just. The dude has had his throat slit for like probably what is an equivalent of like a few hours.
Bold.
I mean, to be honest,
how quick this movie goes, I don't know. Well,
maybe it's like
why?
Minutes, I don't know.
His ascot, the magic ascot.
He's just hanging on by a thread, and he's talking. He's like, I've never felt better in my life. Like,
but that bastard deserved it. Karma.
Well,
he's like, what about? And the guy's like, what about you? He's like, that's when he says, I've never felt better.
What I love is like, I'm gonna read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent. And then Leo just dies.
He just dies. End movie.
He just dies, and literally it goes back to the fucking sick helicopter shot.
The fucking helicopter.
And then shows like the billion police they used.
And then we get the banger song
in the movie. And then we finally get our like 5 cast members.
My favorite is they have the fucking poodle.
They had the poodle and
Sparky,
and then there's like there's another dog in the movie, and they list that as the fucking Tawny.
It's a beautiful
fucking baller movie.
I don't even know. Symbolism.
This movie is fucking ridiculous.
This movie is so stupid. I love it.
It's so like brain dead, but like it's so great. It is so brain dead.
It's so stupid.
You can tell they just wanted they had like cool ideas for scenes, but then had no idea how to piece it together. So
they magically somehow did piece it together.
Well, it makes sense, but barely.
Through pure stupid lizard logic, it somehow pieced together.
Well, because I'm sure they shot the cool scenes first, and that's fucking awesome.
They shot the carnage first.
Yeah, they shot all the carnage, like all the fucking shootout scenes and the action scenes. Yeah. And they're like, oh, fuck, how do we piece this together?
And then they had to get the shots of the uncles on the phones and all of the plot details. And then there's your movie.
It is so loosely fucking slopped together. It's fucking insane. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that this fucking movie makes sense. I have no idea.
It's a miracle that this insanity exists in its state because, my God, I don't even know.
It is sloppy, to say the least.
Extremely.
But it's fucking great.
It's great.
It's the scenes.
It's like we say, Will. They try. They tried.
Listen, they did try, and goddamn it, it's entertaining.
They tried, and it's... And
if you want
insane.
just a fucking incredibly stupid action movie to watch, just you You could do a lot worse.
Look up Killpoint. It's on YouTube.
Killpoint on YouTube, 1984. You could just look up the word Killpoint, and it's literally right there.
It's right there.
It's like the second one.
Because there are other idiots like us who insisted on looking this up and watching it.
I don't know why. One sec. I'm going to see. I got a shout out. So, TVS David 316. Thank you for this YouTube video that we watched.
An hour, 28 minutes, and 56 seconds.
Yeah.
Of beauty.
You know what? I'm okay with that. That's a good length. It's a good...
That's a great length.
It's condensed. It's great.
I always say I miss when movies were like 90 minutes or less, especially like nonsense movies. So
exactly.
I am good with that.
I am good with this, and it's incredibly entertaining. It is fucking stupid as shit, but it's entertaining.
It is very entertaining.
And it's kind of impressive that they got an entire police force in this they crammed it into this fucking movie.
I mean, we kept saying that it was hilarious to me that they got all these police resources. They got all these connections for Killpoint.
For Killpoint.
For this stupid nonsense.
I'm sure
movie.
like even like a low budget movie or even a big budget movie would kill to have an entire police force at their disposal for all those shots and all the fucking...
all that.
And this is what we got. Some fucking Goomba.
Some harebrained lizard.
I knew the fucking lieutenant or something and was like, bro, can we please use your police force? And the guy's like, okay, it's a slow week.
Yeah, they didn't even ask, like, oh, what's the movie? It's like, trust me, it's great.
Well, they probably were like, hey, if you let us use your police force, you can be in our movie.
You want to be
in our movie? Well, I don't really know how to act. Don't worry, we got you.
Man. We'll put the script off camera.
You know how to read, right?
We'll make the font real big. We'll have a guy holding it off camera.
This. You know what's hilarious? Even those people reading off of the fucking script, like, acted better than like 80% of the movies we watch on this fucking podcast.
Listen, we've had movies on this podcast where they stumble over their fucking lines.
I know.
So I guess them having the script.
So you know what?
Right in front.
Go off, Kings. Okay, that's just all.
Go off, uncles.
Go off, uncles. Kings is what I call them, because Action Uncle Summer's back, and I'm gonna make it a thing. God damn it!
Killpoint is the ultimate evolution in Action Uncle Summer.
It really is.
We got
because it's literally like just uncles.
We got uncles.
Just uncles.
Yeah, of all races. Like we got all the uncles,
but they're all above a certain age. And they're all fucking
They just look so average.
Daddy-os and uncles. That's it.
That's all. That's what you need. They all look so average, and I love it.
Great. I think it's endearing when you just add like just real fucking people. Like these are not movie stars. They're just real fucking people.
It's the kind of people you could run into at a fucking Walmart or something. Like
makes it more realistic. It fucking immerses you. Okay.
Listen, this is the most immersive film because we got the most basic bitch bars. We got like real police stations. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
We got a grocery store that they annihilate. We got a convenience store that they annihilate. We got a Chinese restaurant that they fucking annihilate. Like, it's all there, baby. Not studio filmed. It's on location.
And like, you know what? It's really...
It's cute.
God damn it, you don't see a whole police force in a movie usually, but they fucking did that.
Yeah, you especially don't see it in a nonsense B movie. But go off, Kings. Go off, Kings, let me tell you.
What would you rate? Shitty to pretty. I don't know. If we're going off entertainment value, I'm honestly... It's like, if I was going off like movie making logic...
Don't.
It's
Please
gonna
don't.
Be real low because this movie's fucking stupid. But entertainment value alone, I think I'm gonna give it an 8.
Same thing for me. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah, I think 8 is a good score.
I don't even want to think about what I would have to give this if I was like actually being like serious.
Listen, if we went back through all our movies and had to be serious and like,
please no,
hell no,
please no,
we're not doing that.
But entertainment value.
That's not this podcast. That's not this podcast. If you're looking for serious reviews of these movies, then you've come to the wrong place.
Killpoint is not.
And maybe we're getting more brain dead as we go on because maybe Killpoint's not a good movie and we just enjoyed it because
How dare you?
We fucking like our brains have rotted past the point of return.
How dare you say that a film where there is a 5-minute scene of a man slowly going insane because of a babbling waitress and a crying baby is a bad movie? How dare you imply that? This movie has Stack Pierce in it, Will. Playing Nighthawk, and that's his name. This is his fucking name. This is his name in the credits. Yeah. That's it. Richard Roundtree's in it, and he dies.
Yeah.
After 12 minutes and a scene where he gets felt up because Nighthawk's pig detector goes off, apparently.
His
literally, his
bacon sensor.
He walks in, and he just immediately is like, check him out. Like, sus.
For no reason.
Like, Nighthawk would be the world's best Among Us player, because he would just fucking... he was just immediately like,
it's like,
no.
It's purple.
It's purple. I got it. I don't like how he sits.
Oh my god. Dude.
Insanity.
Yeah. If you want pure fucking insanity, just go watch this fucking movie.
Please.
It's on YouTube. It's free for everyone.
Yeah.
Literally.
No ads, nothing.
Yeah. Literally nothing. I think that's it. I'm just going to close it there.
That's it. The only thing I will say before we sign off and kill ourselves is that years ago, our man, William, here, gave me a present.
Oh, yeah. We're going to tell... Yeah.
I am going to tell them this. You gave me it was one of those, like, you know those sometimes like they have those like 50 movie like packs from like Mill Creek Entertainment or something.
I love Mill Creek Entertainment. So stupid.
He got me like the fucking Ark of the Covenant of that, I guess.
Wasn't it like 200 movies?
Because I swear to God, it was like the drive-in movie pack. And I swear to fucking Christ, it had like 300 goddamn movies. And it was like
the kind of collection where it was like 5 movies
it was
crammed
like
onto a fucking...
Some fucking harebrained moron. I was like, okay, we've put out like a bunch of these like 50 movie packs. Let's just get one that puts everything in it. And
please tell me when you put the DVD in, it has like the file folders with the fucking MP4.
Well, it had a menu, but I'm not joking. It was like you could make this menu, you know? It was like 5 movies per DVD. I think it was front and back too.
Oh yeah, it's one of those kind where you flip over the DVD.
Because the quality of the movies was such shit that they didn't care. So it was like whatever, 5 movies on one.
One movie was a
whatever.
Couple megabytes maybe.
But it was like 5 movies per side, and I swear it was just a fucking stack of DVDs that weren't like, there was nothing to hook them onto or anything. But I remember, because I went down the fucking list, and it was like an insane amount of movies. And on that fucking list was Killpoint.
Hell yeah.
And I knew at that point, because I knew that Red Letter Media talked about this fucking movie, and I saw it on there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to refrain from watching it, because one day it's going to be on this shit.
You technically own Killpoint.
I technically own this nonsense. The funny thing is, I guarantee you, if I plug that fucking DVD in, it's going to look like...
Probably worse than this.
I'm not going to say this rip looks amazing, but at least, like, I could tell what was happening, at least, thankfully. Mm-hmm. I guarantee if I put that fucking DVD in, it's going to look like someone filmed it on, like, a camcorder or something.
Came on TV and someone fucking shot it.
Yeah, like some grandma's, like, beat-up VHS tape. But that movie was on there. Because our man Will boomed me.
I did. That was like one of the biggest ones. I don't think I'll ever I don't think I'll ever surpass that.
That was actual insanity.
I can't believe I actually found that.
The amount of movies they shoved in that fucking thing was like shocking.
I had to get it when I saw it. I really did.
I'm not joking. It was like 300 movies, and some of them, it was hilarious watching it because at that time you got it, and this was like, I swear, like over 100 episodes ago. Like just looking down that list, so many of them we had already done.
Yeah.
And there was others that were coming up, and others that like I had never even fucking heard of. And I watched some of them.
It's like the movies that like you need no right. You don't even have to like buy the rights for.
Well, those movies that like either we didn't watch them because I literally couldn't find them, or because they didn't technically count as action or horror. It was just like gobbledygook. But they had the rights to them, and they had like titles that sounded vaguely, action or horror. So they just shoved them on there. Good fucking Christ!
Hell yeah!
But yeah, that is my spiel about how I was boomed.
Yep.
And I was boomed again tonight.
And
in a good way.
If I ever find something like that again, I will boom you again.
Please no.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
I'm getting to the
100%.
Point. Well, I'm getting to the point where we have seen all of these movies.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because like people, if anybody like talks about this nonsense, we're just kind of like, we've seen it.
That's why I think the brain rot is real.
No, we know we've like we are in the shit. We've seen it all.
We've seen like the shittiest movies of the past. Like
we've seen the shittiest and the best shit. And
we've seen like a lot of bad movies.
Who the
70s.
fuck has seen Furious, Will? Nobody. But we've seen but you know what's good is we watched Furious before some fucking Goomba like famous person watches it and like makes it viral.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
We did that.
We did it fucking first. Now, you know what I'll say? Go home, listeners.
Yes.
Go home.
Go home.
Go home, listeners.
Go.
Go.
Go. All right. You know what? Let's just leave it there.
Bye.
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 Go home.
Go home, listeners.
Go home.